Dishin It is sponsored by Price Cutter. Local matters. Welcome to Dishin It. On the menu today, how about some rice pudding with candied mixed nuts maybe, or pecans or almonds? We'll decide later. We'll see.
Yeah.
In honor of National Rice Pudding Day.
Yay!
Have you ever had rice pudding?
I have not. I've heard of it.
Where would you guess the origin of this dish comes from?
I'm gonna guess rice is very prominent in like South America, but also Europe, in Spanish, like Spain. So I want to say Britain.
I want to say Britain too.
I said all that to go right.
Britain.
Great Britain.
I was going to say, it sounds very English.
It sounds very English, but I think, who knows? Do we
I
know
will
the word?
say, if we can ever make Yorkshire pudding is, it's basically like a puff pastry with this gravy. I had that in London and it blew my mind. I don't understand why we don't have it here in America.
Well, can we make it?
Can we make it?
Can we make it? Can
Yorkshire
we do
pudding
it?
is fantastic. They have it with their traditional Sunday lunch, their Sunday dinner. They have like roast, the carrots, potatoes, and Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire pudding. Here's what we've done so far, guys. The rice takes a while. This is Italian rice.
Yeah.
So we put 2 cups water, brought it to a boil, then added the rice, and it has to cook like this for 15 minutes. So it is cooking slightly, they said leave the lid slightly ajar for steam, but hopefully all that water will be absorbed into the rice.
If it calls for Italian-style rice, does that mean
Maybe
it's from Italy?
Oh my word.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
We're reading the teleprompter now.
The origin is uncertain. However, some say China and India. Okay. Way off.
We say Britain. I don't know why.
We're way off. So, okay, so our rice is cooking. So
yes.
We're gonna actually add a little Ozarks Foxam flair, if you will. We're gonna add some fruit, strawberries, apple, banana, and the candied mixed nuts, maybe. So you want me to start on fruit?
Sure, why don't you be cutting some fruit? Should I start, because I don't think this one's gonna take us, what we have to do is we have to incorporate milk, sugar, and cinnamon in this pot. And once the rice is absorbed, we add this to the rice to make the pudding.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna hold off on that for a second.
So, yeah.
And what if I start working on the candied nuts if you wanna start slicing fruit?
That way they can cool down. Okay.
So, we have some pecans and some almonds, and it is up to you, my friend, if we combine them or just do pecans, just do almonds, just do whatever you like. So you tell me.
I am not, biased towards one or the other.
Okay.
However, I'm gonna take that statement back because I am.
What are you doing? What are you
I
saying?
think candied pecans.
Okay.
I think candied pecans.
Okay, we'll put the almonds over here.
Yeah, almonds just remind me of like I'm getting ready to work out and I need like a boost of protein or something. So candied pecans. Okay, I think I'm gonna chop these rather small.
Okay, so this, for candied pecans, it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar, 1 cup pecans, and a tablespoon of butter. So that seems relatively easy.
Did you know the origin of a spoonful of sugar?
Helps the medicine go down?
Yes. You know the origin of that?
What?
Great Britain, Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. Oh, there we go.
It comes full circle.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Okay, let me get this butter.
Speaking of Mary Poppins, did you
Yes.
ever have a babysitter when you were younger that was like kind of that crazy, kooky, fun, never knew what they were gonna,
Maddie,
do
do you want to go down this road of childhood trauma? Is this what you want right now?
Well,
We had one babysitter that my brother and I, could not stand.
Oh.
Who basically, my mom was at a last resort. She had to do what she had to do. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You have to get the babysitter. She needed somebody affordable. We would come over after school and she would just basically lock us in the backyard, not let us inside.
Oh.
We just had to be outside the whole time, even if we had to go to the bathroom. It was not fun.
And that builds
There
character.
you go, and it builds character.
And it builds character.
We played with frogs. We had, I liked being outside. It was just like she just wanted to watch her soap operas and not let us in the house.
Well, hey, you can't blame her,
I mean,
if her soap is on, you gotta watch.
yeah.
I had a babysitter, so it would be when my parents had to go out of town, me and my 2 sisters would go, and then she had 3 kids of her own. I was the youngest of the crew, a second to youngest. She'd always put me in timeout. And I really wasn't a bad kid, but Miss
I feel like you
always
probably
Maddie
deserve-
in the corner.
I feel like you probably deserved it.
I had to face the corner while everyone else played and had fun, and I was in timeout. And I still don't know why she didn't like me. Anyways, it's a great
Well,
day
look at
for
that,
rice
we're dishing
pudding.
it. Well,
Yeah, in more ways than one.
Get around to, and I just had an idea too, Maddie. If you want to save a few strawberries that are full, I think I'm going to do a little decorative technique for presentation at the end. I just had an idea.
So don't cut them in half?
No, some of these in here, just keep some that are
Okay, yeah,
full.
I was just...
As we were talking about our trauma,
Yes.
it made me think of cutting strawberries in a very beautiful way.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I'm
Is
in
that
it.
all right? There we go. Here's the recipe that you're looking at for the rice pudding.
Keep some of those for y'all.
And then I'm gonna sprinkle some, okay? Take a look at that. If you feel like being adventurous and making some at your home, go for it.
Yum.
So I'm just going to take this, okay? I'm just gonna start mixing this together.
You just start mixing. Mixing and matching.
Mixing and matching these pecans.
I think that's enough since we're gonna have 3 different fruits, right?
Sure.
That's a good amount. Oh.
Sure.
Strawberries, you can go back to where you came from. All right.
Okay, and that's incorporated, so I'm gonna let that, I prefer like to go to,
Huh?
Price Cutter and get these already done. I think they have a section where they
Oh, they got
the
a ton.
candy, yeah.
Yeah, they got a
Which
ton.
I do love that, because if you don't feel like making your own, but it's always good to say, hey, you know what? I've at least tried it, and at least I made it. I tried it.
I made it. I tried
made
it.
it,
I
I
liked
tried
it.
it.
I won it.
Oh wow! Look at that! I'm so impressed. The rice is actually
The rice is ricing.
The rice is rising. I don't know. I can. It said to. You know what I'll do? I'm just gonna stir just a little bit to see. Look at that. Would you look at that?
Would you just?
Oh, I don't want it to burn either. Oh gosh, yeah, it's sticking. I think the rice is gonna be actually good. Because it said 15 minutes, and it definitely hasn't been 15 minutes, but.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Well, that's coming along nicely. I'm shocked.
Hey, that's a win in our
I'm kind of shocked. We were so worried. We were like, we got to get that on
It's not
ASAP.
gonna cook. Do you want me to save part of the banana as part of your vision, or can I chop it all up, or?
I think with the banana, we'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Just maybe some strawberries.
I like to eat apples and bananas.
I remember that a little
I
bit.
like to apples
That's
and
gonna be
bananas.
so good. You know, I may do too. I'm just gonna taste this rice a little bit just to see if it's tender.
Okay.
If that's all right with you.
Do you remember
Oh no.
tendered rice of Dishin It? Didn't work.
It absorbed the water. I measured that perfectly. 2 cups water, 1 cup rice.
Oh, and it's not crunchy?
Still crunchy.
Oh, still crunchy, so it still needs to cook down.
I'm gonna let
Okay.
that sit there for a little second.
Perfect. All right, well, as we continue, our rice is ricing and our fruit is fruiting, and we'll be back with more Dishin It after this.
And our pecans are candying.
They're candying.
Oh, that looks good.